Dear students, it is the fourth video for week 16 and we are learning final project report writing. Dear students, in this video we are having a discussion about the chapter 3 conceptual modeling. Dear students, in the third video we talked about the chapter number 1 and the additional information like abstract and all that, and then background study or chapter number 2. Chapter number 3, conceptual modeling. Chapter number 3 and 4 are highly technical and they are what you have learned. They are about what you have learned throughout in your degree program and what you have already designed. In chapter number 3, first write the introduction. And remember students that in project report writing, every chapter have to be started with a proper introduction. We can write that the chapter number 3 is a complete discussion about the theoretical and practical framework of the application. Clear? It includes requirement elicitation, requirement specification, functional requirement, domain, conceptual modeling, data flow, and all that. The purpose of writing this chapter is to explain the minute details about the conceptual modeling and the entire flow of the action for the understanding of the students and all other. तो आपने एक चैप्टर नंबर 3 का बेटा एक इंट्रो लिखना होता है हर चैप्टर का, जस्ट लाइक इन चैप्टर नंबर 1 से हमने शुरू किया, just like we have written introduction in chapter number 2, similarly we have to write introduction in chapter number 3. Clear? Requirement elicitation. 3.2 is requirement elicitation. You express the requirements. Functional requirements, non-functional requirements, these have already been explained by your supervisor, by the project committee, that these are your functional requirements and these are your non-functional requirement. Fine. Specifications, you have to tell that what are the different specifications, functional requirements, non-functional requirements, domain requirements, conceptual diagrams. Clear? But they all are different. This everything is according to the nature of the project. Jiska jo bhi project hai, he'll explain all this from his point of view. Okay, data flow diagrams. Data flow diagrams, you all understand it, that you have to place the data flow diagram, and then once you have placed a diagram, give the caption, figure number 3.1, data flow diagram level 1. Clear? And once you have placed the diagram, beta, then give diagram illustration. उसको फिर एक छोटा सा छोटे से precise paragraph में बयान भी कर दे कि what function actually is happening in that diagram. Clear? This is what our discussion is, that whatever the diagram, whatever the screenshot, whatever the table you are fixing in your report, you must give the caption, number 1. Number 2, do explain the in a descriptive language. एक छोटा सा paragraph उसके मुतालिक diagram illustration कर दें. Clear? And they are the entity relation diagrams. Clear? Whatever the diagram table you use, you have to write it. Clear? And now we move to chapter number 4. Chapter number 4 actually is the main chapter. This is what you have done. Remember the sequence, that in chapter number 1 we came to know about what is the project and why this project has been designed and what is the scope of the project. Chapter number 2, we learned about, trace the history that what were the previous project on the similar concept and topic, and what were their features. We have discussed with the screenshots. In chapter number 3, we have discussed in detail about the functional and non-functional requirement plus the paperwork or entire conceptual framework of the project कि जिस तरीके से वो project होगा. Chapter number 4 is the practical implementation of the project. और आपने ये ज़हन में रखना है कि आपने ये प्रोजेक्ट कर लिया है, आप प्रोजेक्ट करने नहीं जा रहे. Therefore, there should be definite statements. तो आप चैप्टर नंबर 4 के अंदर जो है फॉलोइंग थिंग्स के. चैप्टर नंबर 4 इज द practical introduction of is the practical implementation and execution of the entire project. Clear? For the development of the project, the tools, name of the tools, ये पहले चैप्टर में इस्तेमाल होंगे, the tools, Android and Linux and all that, and technology, टूल्स के बता दें, टेक्नोलॉजी का जिक्र कर दें, मेन मॉड्यूल्स का जिक्र कर दें. In this project, the modules have been designed like web-based database, web API, databases, clear, interfaces, interface designing, and lastly the user guide. Clear? आपने एक जो है वो brief intro लिखना है इसके मुताबिक. Then one by one, you should explain what tools, like Android, write Android and give Android, clear, make the list of tools and mention the technology. Then make the main modules. जहाँ पर चैप्टर इंट्रोडक्शन में आपने लिखे हैं, for example यहाँ से होंगे databases, कि आपने एक database डिजाइन किया, what tools and technology you have, किस tool के जरिए आपने वो you have designed. It is much better कि आप उसके अंदर जो आपने डेटाबेस डिजाइन की है उसके 2-3 सैंपल टेबल्स जो है, क्लियर, वो आप यहाँ पर लगा सकते हैं. उसके नीचे उस टेबल का कैप्शन लिखें और कोड की 2-3 लाइंस लिख दें. इट्स मच बेटर. इट विल बी द आइडिया दैट यस दिस इज द टूल यू हैव, दिस इज द मॉड्यूल you have designed and this is how this method you have used. ये उसका स्क्रीनशॉट लगा हुआ है और नीचे उसकी कोड की 2-3 लाइंस है. Clear? And then you can explain the web API and then layout designing, interface designing. Clear? And there you say the login page and other pages. जो भी one by one pages आते हैं, you have to tell plus the code. And these specifications can well be understood by supervisors and by the report writing coordinators. They will tell you further in case you face any problem. User guide. This is very important. User guide actually are the guidelines how to operate your application. कि ये वो guidelines हैं कि आपकी application को कैसे use किया जा सकता है. तो आपकी एप्लीकेशन के जो फ्रंट एंड यूजर यूज करेगा, जैसे लॉगिन पेज है तो उसके ऊपर लिखा होगा इस लॉगिन पेज एंड द पासवर्ड एंड क्लिक बटन एंड दिस बटन, तो वहां पर आप गाइडलाइन लेंगे. यू हैव टू प्लेस दैट स्क्रीनशॉट एंड डाउन यू हैव टू write the caption, figure number, fine, and then it is the login page. There are 2 buttons. User login password is provided and user clicks on the button and the next step opens. This is called user end. This entire ये 2 एंड पर है. इससे ऊपर जो है वो इंजीनियरिंग एंड है कि कोई एप्लीकेशन आपने डिजाइन कैसे की है, और यहाँ पर यूजर एंड है कि ये कैसे यूज हो सकती है. सो दिस इज द चैप्टर नंबर 4 रेफरिंग टू मैकेनिज्म्स एंड प्रोसीजर्स. बिल्कुल वही थ्योरी यहाँ पर यूज हो रही है कि आपने कोई चीज डिजाइन करनी है, वो चीज है क्या, ठीक है, एप्लीकेशन है आपकी, उसके टूल्स क्या है, आपकी टेक्नोलॉजी क्या है, उसके मेन मॉड्यूल्स क्या है, आपने कौन सा टूल कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करके क्या डिजाइन किया है, उसकी क्या डिजाइनिंग है, हाउ प्रैक्टिकली हैड बीन डिजाइन्ड, क्लियर, और हाउ दैट कैन बी यूज्ड स्पेशली इन कंप्यूटर साइंसेस, in software engineering. The designing perspective is different and using perspective is different. But a technical writer have to explain both these things, and both will have the different point of view. दोनों को explain करने का mode भी different होगा. In designing there is a descriptive mode. In using there is imperative mode. Okay, click on the button and this and that. Fine. There are many more modes whatever the writer can use. So this is the chapter number 4. Student, chapter number 5, the final chapter, concluding remarks. In concluding remarks, you have to, there are so many ways to conclude. Make the main points of your entire discussion. Generally तो ये है कि आप अपनी जितनी भी डिस्कशन हुई है उसके जो मेन पॉइंट्स होते हैं उनको एक जगह पर इकट्ठा करते हैं and then match it with your hypothesis or problem statement. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर कंक्लूडिंग ये है कि आपने बयान करना है कि स्टूडेंट मैनेजमेंट, the existing system were manual and they had lots of issues that troubled the management and students, issues like SLA and all of them. The given application having the latest features of this creates alerts and generates record for the student, clear, and has saved the student time and all that. ये हो गया, आपने कंक्लूजन दे दिया. फ्यूचर डायरेक्शन, फिर अगेन सिमिलर थिंग कि भाई अगर आप समझते हैं कि दिस सिस्टम कैन फर्दर बी एनहांस, कि 4 मंथ में आपने बस अपना जितना काम था वो कर लिया, बट देयर आर मेनी रूम, देयर इज मच थिंग्स टू बी डन जो हो सकती हैं, यू कैन राइट इट. लिमिटेशंस ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट, सिमिलरली कि अगर कोई चीज नहीं हो सकती थी, व्हाई इट कुडंट बी डन. टाइम लिमिटेशन है या आपकी स्कोप की लिमिटेशन है. फाइन. सो दिस इज द चैप्टर नंबर 5th and chapter number part 3. Last is the part 3. It is the references. Okay. Inshallah, for the references, we'll make a separate video how to mention the references. But I have discussed in library research report the referencing in detail, reading and taking notes. I mean the chapter number 2, which you have discussed. Clear? From where you have read about, कहाँ से आपने वो background की information उठाई है, what was that book, what was that article, what was that site. Clear? And you have to read and cite accordingly, referring it to the library research report. And next year is the final project part of the report, and here we put the main code, the bare code of the entire project if required. It is up to the project committee what they have guided you. Dear students, hope you have learned the main points that the final project report is very important. It is written as a technical record, and it also judges the technical ability of the students to express the scientific subject matter. Okay, we must be aware of the problem, why this project has been designed, and we must explore about the projects and development already made so that we be able to design our project properly, understand the requirements. Okay, and chapter number 4, do express your project from designing point of view and user point of view. Thank you very much.